Now let's watch Boaz as he begins to move. I'm reading now verse 1 of chapter 4 of the book of Ruth. Then went Boaz up to the gate, and sat him down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. Now there's several things there that are important for us to note. To begin with, Boaz went up to the gate. He sat down there. Why? Well, the gate in Bethlehem, or any town of that day, was the most active place. In fact, that's where the action was. And anyone that lived inside that city, that had fields outside the walled city, sooner or later would either come in or go out that gate. And Boaz knew it was the harvest season, and he knew this other kinsman, who had fields also, that he'd be coming in or going out sometime during the day. So Boaz just planted himself right there by the gate to wait. Then another reason, the gate was the place where the court met in that day. You know, our method today, or at least it was in early days, to have a square, and in the middle of the square to put a courthouse, and then a little town was built around it. And practically every town in the Midwest was built like that. But back there, the courthouse was the gate. That's where the action took place. Now, Boaz sits down, and he waits for him, and he knew he'd be coming in or going out, and that one came by. And we're told here, Ho, such a one. Now, doesn't Boaz know his name? He apparently is Boaz's uncle. Didn't he know him by name? Sure he knew him by name. Well, why isn't his name given? Well, I think for a very definite reason. This man, we'll see, he was unable to redeem, and also I think I'll be able to give him a name, but Ho, such a one. Why did Boaz say that, though? Well, I think Boaz was sitting there, probably reading the morning paper, reading the Bethlehem Bugle, and he was reading it, and lo and behold, he looked up, and there was this fellow who was going out the gate to go to his field, and he was out probably 100 yards, and before he could even think of his name, jumps up and says, Ho, such a one. And the man turns around, and he turned aside and sat down, because Boaz says, sit down here. And I think he was saying to himself, well, I wonder what in the world has come over Boaz, that during our harvest season, we're all out winnowing grain, and here he seems to be so busy, and something else has come